Hey folks, it's Ridgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Dutch Polder here on Farming Simulator 17. We are just going to go and get the very final load of sugar beet that I'm planning to do for this harvest. The rest of the sugar beet in the field, we're just going to leave it. We're just going to completely ignore it. We're going to pretend that it doesn't even exist. I'm not going to do anything with it. The other sugar beet harvester over there has now stopped. See, I'm even driving on it here. We're losing the whole lot. This is all going to disappear. So I'm going to switch over to you. And this one is doing really well. This one is actually just driving up and down the field and is doing all its planting. And it seems to be doing an absolutely magnificent job. It looks like it's turned there a couple times. Not quite sure why it turned there. We may have a problem over here. I don't know. I haven't actually seen what it's doing here yet. I haven't sort of watched the end of it. And I think it does alright. I think it just goes up to the end. It looks like it's just going to the end of the field and it's turning okay without any problems. We'll let that carry on a minute because I wanted to come over here. This one has started. Just going to do that a minute and stop it. This one up here was coming down towards the end. It got to the bit where it said that the neighbor owns the field and just instantly stops dead and says helper has finished its task. And that's the end of it. It doesn't do any more. So, yeah, we don't want to do anything else with that one. This one here, I'm just going to run down here and I'm going to grab the last little bit of sugar beet out of that harvester there. And then we are done with sugar beet. So if I go to you, like that, there, like that, and I do that a minute, we'll unfold this one down and let this last couple tons of sugar beet go into there. There, I can lift that one up, and there. So you can alter how you have the thingy coming out to your heart's content when you're driving it manually. We'll put that one back in. I'm going to switch over to this tractor here a minute. We're going to go back into here, and we leased these machines. Garage. That's what I want. Yeah. So we leased all of these. I'm going to start returning these. There, that's the one off of the front of there, and we'll return that transport there. Return that one. I actually leased that one. I forgot about that. I forgot that we've got them down in the yard ready to roll. So, yep, I want to release that one, and that one wants to be returned as well. Okay, there is our lease costs have all now been gotten rid of. And you over here do actually have the odd little bit of a problem. So what I'm thinking is that I will set this one going. We've got this. I thought there might be. There's one tiny little bit in this corner that I didn't quite get. I was wondering if there was going to be such a thing. And there was. Okay, so we'll bring that one over here. But what I'm going to do now is it came up to the edge of the field, and I think that if I send it this way, it's only got to do, I think, one pass around the outside in order to sort of fill in these gaps. So if I go Control H like that, we'll do it that way round, and we'll do that, and then I press H. It should just start going along this edge of the field. But what I'm curious about is what it's going to do up on this corner, how well it's going to get round that corner. So the vehicle extension, it does seem to be working alright. We did have the odd problem with it in places, and it does do some weird things at times. We know this. It's gone round that one alright. Having the thing set to like 100% turning, it does allow you to do some quite sharp turns. Turning on the corners, it can be a bit difficult with it, especially if you've got like fences and stuff around the field, but this seems to be okay. It takes a little bit of time to do it, to figure it out, but it does seem to be okay. And I still haven't gotten round to getting a front-mounted cultivator so that we can try that for doing the stuff around the fields and so on, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. We'll just let that one go do what it's doing there. You right here, we'll go and empty out this load of sugar beet here. So like I say, we'll just we're showcasing the map, aren't we? So we've done sugar beet. I'm not doing any more of it because, quite frankly, I'm getting bored with it. And if I'm getting bored with it, you're almost definitely getting bored with it. So we're not going to do sugar beet anymore. That's it for sugar beet. I will tip this into our storage, and we've got all the sugar beet that we could possibly want for our pigs. I'm taking a little bit of a risk with the planting of the crops by fast-forwarding time now. I'm going to fast-forward time until tomorrow so that we've got cheaper pigs to buy. I'm just hoping that it doesn't affect the crop that we're planting too badly. And yeah, I know with the sugar beet thing on here with that, no more capacity. Okay, that's it. We're full. It goes black like that, and that's to do. I don't know why it does it with some mods, but this mod, it does it quite a lot. You'll notice that quite a lot of angles with it. You'll have everything, the picture just kind of goes black and non-existent. No idea. I really don't know why it does that. I couldn't tell you. I'm sure there is a very particular reason for it, but what that reason is, not a clue. Now, that looks like just ordinary. I don't understand why we've got silage bunkers next to the pigs. That's one thing I don't understand. Right, so straw goes in on the back end of the pigs over here. That one there is a water trough, so the food is over here, right in front of... Well, I've gone and parked the water feeder. The water bowser right in front of that. So we're going to bring that one over there. Back you in like that, and... I don't know how much you can put in when you got no pigs. If you got no pigs present, how much can you put in? 147. I don't know how many pigs worth that is. But we've got to load in the trailer here, so I'm going to leave it in the trailer for a minute, and we'll tip it into the pigs a bit later. So the next thing that we want to do is we need to get some pigs. And I want to get at least one load of pigs using the tractor. I'm going to let this one... So he's gone round that bit down there. He's done that bit fine. And he's heading up across the field here now. I'm going to let it do once more around the outside of the field, and then we'll put it back to going up and down the field, because if it'll do once more along the end there, I'm hoping that we won't have any problem with it running into the trees at the ends of the fields. That's my plan anyway. So it does look like, with this map, if you do the outside round of the field, the rest of it does seem to follow on alright. The biggest problem seems to be the whole ownership issue that you get, but you get that on every map. I have not yet encountered a map where you don't get the whole ownership from fields that are close to each other, and it is a frustration. It really is. It is really incredibly frustrating where you go anywhere near the edge of your own field and it's saying you don't own this land. Some maps are better than others, but I've not yet encountered a map where it doesn't happen at all. I think maybe the Giants' own maps it didn't happen, but that's about it. And yeah, it's disappointing that you've got to sort of struggle through this all the time. I am curious how the vehicle extension is going to cope with this particular turn. It's done it alright, actually. Okay, I'm quite impressed with that. I am... You know, because the vehicle extension does struggle with trailed machinery. But it does actually seem to be doing okay with this at the moment. I'm impressed. I am actually quite impressed with this. This is very good. We'll let that carry on there. We are going to go back to our fence. And we're going to go back up the road towards the other one. And like I said, I'm going to fast forward time at the risk. I don't think you get a crop growth stage through midnight. Hello. Now that was farm work being done. Yeah, the farm work, that does get done sort of during the... If you got 3 days per season, the farm work tends to be done overnight. But if you've got 2 days or... not 3 days per season, sorry. If you've got 3 days per stage, so 9 days per season... The farm work tends to get done overnight. If you've got 6 days or 3 days per season, so you've got much shorter amounts of time going between each stage, the work that gets done on the farm tends to just happen at random different times during the day. And it can get a little bit confusing as to why it's happening and when it's happening. And I completely... There, see? It's Suddenly in the middle of the afternoon, that's now been all harvested. I completely forgot my weekly question, didn't I? So I will ask you that now. Where do you want to go for our next 4-week stint? And it will be the final 4-week stint that we have on FS17, because FS19 is coming out. I am so excited about this game. I really am. I am really looking forward to this one coming out. I got high hopes for this game. I really do. It's probably going to have quite a few bugs in it to start with. We all know that, and we all accept that. Giants are spectacular at pushing out an early patch in order to cover the worst of the bugs. They did it with FS13, FS15, and FS17. They get those patches out fast. They find out, because there's so many hundreds of thousands of computer configurations, they cannot possibly test for them. We know this, right? It's just not physically possible to test for all computer configurations. And so once it goes out, they get all these unusual hardware, software configurations that they've not really seen before, and they all get they all have their own various different quirks, and Giants gather up a huge database of all the different quirks, and they very, very, very quickly deal with them. And that's what I love about it, is that the speed that they get through and very quickly patch all of these different issues. It is impressive. Right, let's try skipping the night while the hired help is working. Let's see if this is going to work. We're going to go through until morning rather than dawn. Just because I think it might be better for the hired help that we've got working. So we're there through until morning. I'm going to leave, actually, and just switch you off a second. And we'll go to you. And, right. Now that is going to present a problem, but how much of a problem? Quite a big problem. It's replanting the crop. I got crop in 2 different growth stages now. It was a gamble that didn't quite pay off, unfortunately. So we got 1 growth stage there, and then the other growth stage is only just been planted. But because of the crop it's not actually, like, the vehicle extension is not pulling out any more. It is going to do it. It's not like trying to replant the whole thing. I think it's going to be alright. Right, well, we'll leave that one going. I did say I was going to do 1 more pass around the field, but I'm thinking no now. I'm thinking I'll stop that a second, because I only really needed to do another little bit along the edge here, so I've got like a double pass on the field here. And then I'm going to start it going up and down here again, with just going up and down the field, and hopefully it'll keep going and it'll plant the rest of this entire field. That's the plan. And yes, we do have now, the field is in 2 growth stages, one after the other. Once it gets round to harvest, I don't think that's actually going to affect it too badly. At least I'm hoping that's the case. Okay, so I want to go that way. Nope, not normal. I want that one. That's the one that I want. And then we'll do that. And then I'll press H. Let's start up. And it should follow. Yes, it is. It's going to do it. It's not perfect. Not by any stretch. Because we do have this whole growth stage thing, but that's because I fast-forwarded the night. Okay, that's my fault. Slow that back down, and we'll run that now on 1 speed until we finish this field. So that was entirely my fault. That was just because of what I decided to do there. And go over to you, and I will repair at the moment, €35, and then customize, and we will put standard wide tyres on, I think. Right, customize. Okay. Okay, well, it didn't entirely like that, but it's not too bad. Right, yeah, the actual weekly question. Let's get to that, shall we? I've sort of gotten distracted again. I've been squirreled once again. I get squirreled a lot, and I'm sure I've explained what squirreled is in this series. If I haven't, let me know, and I'll explain what being squirreled is in next week's series. I do talk about this a lot in my World of Warcraft series, so you could always go and have a look on one of those. Anyway, do you want to, for our final 4-week stint, stay here on Dutch Polder for another 4 weeks? Do you want to go to the Irish one at Shamrock Valley? Do you want to go to the one in the States? I think it's in Oregon, Lone Oak Farm. Do you want to go to Dowland Farm in North Yorkshire? Hang on. There. Or do you want to go to the Tyrolean Alps in Western Austria? Personally, I am hoping that you pick the Tyrolean Alps because that is my current favourite out of the pick. Although I do like all of them, I'm not going to be sorry for any of the other options. I just 1,500. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm very pleased that we've only got 1,500 per pig. That's 58,000 for 38 pigs. That's pretty good. I wanted 200 pigs altogether. So we will take our 38 pigs and we will go racing up the road with them. Look at all of that pork. Look at all of that pork. That is fantastic. Yeah, the Tyrolean Alps, I said in yesterday's episode why that one is my particular favourite. It's very much like well, kind of similarities between that one and the last map I played in FS17. I just thought it would be like quite cool to have the similarities between the two. Plus, it's just gorgeous. It really is. The whole mountain thing that it's got going on and the little YouTube video. And I do these maps, I base them off of the photos, the screenshots and stuff like that. I don't actually load the map and go and look around it beforehand, because that way it's all a new experience to me before I get on. You know, when I first get onto the map, you're seeing my genuine first reactions. This one I did have a look around before for a previous video where I did a quick look at it. But yeah, for the most part, when I go onto a map, it's genuinely my first time on that map. So you're getting a good first reaction and my first sort of views of the map and what I think of it. And I like to think that that makes for slightly better viewing than me having been there before and saying, oh, this is good and this is good. You know, a genuine reaction, I think, is better than something that I'm trying to force. So that's why I like to do it like that. And I also really like the surprise. I like, you know, just sort of finding out what you've picked for me and then going there and thinking, this is absolutely awesome. I'm really glad you picked this. Or, you know, going there and equally going to a map and thinking, wow, okay, this is altogether a little bit underwhelming, this map. And, yeah, well, what do I do now? This is where we break out some of the more silly mods in order to keep myself entertained while I struggle through on this map. But that's why when I first look at the maps, I'm very particular about looking at the screenshots and looking at the description, reading through, and getting feedback on what players think of it. Because usually, if the map is highly thought of, I then don't go to it and have a bad experience with it myself as well. If the map is highly thought of, I almost always have a magnificent time with it as well, because the community in general are pretty good at picking out the good stuff and marking down the bad stuff, and that is something that I love, especially about Mod Hub. It's just fantastic with Mod Hub that you can all just do that. You can say, oh no, don't like this one, and grade it down a bit. And the star system does seem to fairly accurately represent the quality of the maps that are on offer. But yeah, so we've got those 5 maps. It's Dutch Polder, Shamrock Valley, Lone Oak Farm, Dowland Farm, or the Tyrolean Alps. It's your vote. It's your game. Head into the comment section down below. Let us know which one you want and why. And of course, don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right-hand corner. There we go. We have now got pigs. Pigs in our farm. And potatoes and sugar beet with the 38 pigs that we've got in there are about... Right, well, we're going to get more. I said I'd do either 1 or 2 loads with this one. I don't think we need to run up and down the road with this one again. You know, we've seen what that looks like, and I don't think that it's necessary for me to do that again in order to make this series entertaining in any way. So I'm going to return that one. And I'm going to return that one. Like that. Back out of there. One thing I do want to look at, though, is I want to go Alt-S on here. Pigs. That is rock bottom prices right there. And if we have a look in here, at the moment, they're not breeding because we don't have any water in for them. So we do need to very quickly put water in for them. Before I do that, though, I'm going to go here. And I said 200 pigs. I want 200 pigs. So we're going to go here and we're going to keep buying until... See, you've got a fee right there. This is the amount of money that we are paying for the privilege of having these pigs delivered here instead of going and getting them ourselves. So we go there. 200 is what I want. Our fee is 72,900 euros in order to have these delivered. 320,000 in total. I don't have 320,000. I've got 316,000. So I'm going to alter my initial decision, and I'm going to go for 150 pigs in total. So that's going to put us at 221 there, because, you know, it did cost us a slice. And that leaves another 50 pigs that we could buy later on if we want to. Like, if I do this, if I go in and I buy 50 pigs, yeah, see, look at that. Those 50 pigs right there, 99,000. We're just a little bit short on that. 150 pigs will be fine. We will do this with 150. Let's go back a minute and check on this one, see how it's doing. It's doing absolutely fine, and yes, it is costing us quite a bit of money. I know that the AI vehicle extension, the money that it charges for hired help is a little bit steep. And I think Seasons also pushes that money up a little bit. We've got... but it's still planting just fine. We've got no issues with the planting going on here. I'm curious if it's going to let us plant at all in the winter. I know that it's very slow planting. Like ploughing is very, very slow. You can... I mean, I know people do plant in the winter. They'll cultivate, they do, you know, groundwork and stuff in the winter. It is entirely possible. It is done on some farms. That's way down now. Oh. We got a loan of 75,000. I'm going to borrow some money. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to increase this guy's debts in order to buy pigs. Now, pigs are a very volatile market. Everybody knows this. So we've got a loan now of 250,000 euros. And we're then going to go back over here. And we are going to buy those remaining 50 pigs. And then we can start filling this stuff up with all the different bits that we want. I want 200 pigs. I want 200 pigs in here. I think it would be better if we had 200. Confirm. Yes, another 99,000. So it leaves us with 170 grand. And we will see how that pans out. So first thing that we're going to do is I'm going to go hook that trailer on there. And just back it up and tip in all the sugar beet that we can. And then the last of the sugar beet here. I don't really want this trailer anymore, to be honest. I'd rather go and get a different trailer. We got another trailer back at the farm, which is the one that I think we should be using. So I'll tip that lot in there. And we've now got in here... Ooh, too far. 1,400 litres of potatoes. That's it. Just 1,400 litres. That's not a lot of potato sugar beet. That's not really a lot, considering how much you can put in of some of the other crops. It is a very small amount of difference that it actually makes. Now, can we sell in here? Sugar beet is not accepted. So where do we tip the sugar beet at this sell point? Right, we've got crop depot, sawmill depot. And maybe I should look on the map. Right, what is this? That's the crop depot there, isn't it? Farm. Oh. Farm silo. Crop depot is back down there. Right, well, that's all right. We'll take a little bit of a road trip because we need to return the trailer anyway. So rather than returning it sort of long distance, I'll return it like this. Now, we do have to accept the fact that we would have gotten quite a bit more money from that sugar beet. If we'd stayed and harvested that sugar beet, that would have given us easily another 250,000. Even if we were selling direct off the field and not storing it. So we've got that to take into account, and I've just increased our loan by a substantial amount. I am wondering if I should just add in extra money to simulate what we would have got from selling that sugar beet between now and next week, or not. So, for today's episode, let me know. Give me your thoughts on that one. Do you think that I should add in a little bit of extra money just to simulate getting that? And then I could also repay the loan. You know, the loan wouldn't be an issue. And it would be the same as if we had actually harvested all of that sugar beet and sold it. Like I said, I didn't really want to be doing sugar beet harvest for this entire series, and you know, a sugar beet harvest of that size is just going to take us too long. And you know my thoughts on doing it behind the scenes. If I was just to sit there and play for 2-3 hours harvesting sugar beet without actually filming it, and then say, look what I did a thing, it's not going to be any different to me simply just turning up at the beginning of the next episode with an extra 200,000 euros on the account. It's going to be literally no difference whatsoever, so that's why I do it the way that I do it. I don't know why I explain this every time. Mainly I explain this every time because we get new subscribers turning up every time, and so we do get these questions asked on a regular basis. So if I keep explaining, it keeps being answered, and everybody's happy, in theory. I don't think it's ever possible for everybody to be happy. I genuinely don't. I have tried in the past to keep everybody happy. I have since become older and wiser, and I have realized that you cannot please all of the people all of the time. You can rarely please most of the people most of the time. If you can please some of the people some of the time, you're doing fairly well. So that's what I tend to go for these days. I will please some of the people some of the time. Yes, we can. It wouldn't have even started tipping if I hadn't been able to do it here. So we'll sell this one little load, and then we'll return this trailer. And then our next job is to go back to the farm, and we're going to get the Joskin trailer that we got back there, and we're going to bring that one over to the pigs, and then we can put the water bowser onto the tractor, and we can start filling the pigs up with water. But the pigs won't do anything at the moment until they get... Yeah, it's saying reproduction nothing. It's because we've got no water, but I'm thinking because I've got food in there, it might have already started doing something with them. I'm not sure. You got to be careful with seasons because you do get... there's another 10 grand gone in. Excellent. 10 grand in the kitty. With seasons, you do get the whole issue with... the animals will die if they don't have enough stuff. Right. Return that one. There we go. And now I need to drive this one back to the farm. So I get this one back there. I'll pick up that Joskin trailer, and then I will swing back on round to the pigs. I honestly think it would take me a long time to get used to living in any kind of area like this, where that is like the highest hill that you find anywhere. Right? It really is flat. It's so flat. And this is the thing, you know, I know I've said this in previous videos, but you go and look at Tractor Spotter's videos. He's in my recommended channels list. He's reposting. He took a break for ages, I think, to go and get a load of footage. He'd been collecting footage for a year. And you look at the fields that they're working in, and you look at the landscape around them, and this is what it looks like. This is actually what they see. You know, they look out the tractor cab, and this is what they're looking at. It's just flat. Like, completely flat everywhere. There's no, like, difference. It's just, this is it. This is, like, very realistic. Oh, I see. It's come up to the edge here, and it's sort of gotten a little bit confused on the edge of the field. You got a little bit too far away from it, I think. Right, let's just go to there and press H again. See which way it goes. So come into there. Right, it's going to follow that one down that side. It should carry on alright down through there. May start to encounter the odd little problem because of just how much of a point it's going to up there. That can cause a little, you know, when it goes to sort of a triangle point like that, that can cause a few issues with it. It shouldn't be too bad. We'll keep a little bit of an eye on that one. We'll go back over to you. And we've got our Joskin trailer is just round the corner over here. So we'll go and grab that one. And then we can run this one back to the pigs. Swing you in round there. I got fertilizer, well, a fertilizer spreader. I don't actually have any fertilizer in it. And we'll bring you back on here. And it's got to be said, for looks, this is probably my favourite trailer. I like this trailer. And there is another one, a Marshall trailer, I think it is, see if I can find... Oh, no, it's not going to be in there, is it? It's going to be in here. Let's go back to category, and we'll go to tippers here. It's a modded one, this one is. Oh, that's the Modern Classics one. That one's all right, but it's a little bit shallow. That's more of a dumper rather than a tipper, like a dumper trailer. It's that one. It's that Marshall trailer right there. That one there and this trailer here. These are probably my two favourite trailers. I don't know why. They just seem to be, to me, and to what I'm used to, the farming that I'm used to, these two, that Marshall trailer and this one here, they seem to be the most trailer-shaped trailers. Does that make any sense to anybody that's watching this series? They genuinely seem to be the most trailer-shaped ones. Sort of fairly low-ish trailers. I've not done a lot of work with very high trailers. I mean, this one is a very high trailer compared to the tractor, but I mean, it's quite sort of long, so it's not very tall-sided. And to me, there's kind of like a... I don't know, there's something about it that's, it just seems more like trailer-shaped than most of the other actual trailers that we've got here. And it is a bit of a peculiar thing to say, that it's the most trailer-shaped trailer. And I am aware that it does seem a little bit odd, but, yeah, it's just the way it is. It's just the most trailer-shaped trailer that I've got here. So we'll tip you up there. Now, we got those planting over there. I'm actually thinking, is that it? Is that all I can put in there? That's all of the wheat, barley, and... Oh, hay pellets. I realised you could put hay pellets in for the wheat bit. That's 25% of their feed. I've got 200 pigs in here, and that's all I can put in. When do the pigs eat the most? Do they eat the most in the winter or in the summer? I don't actually know. Different animals eat different amounts at different times of year, and... it does sort of vary quite a huge amount as the year goes through as to what you can put in for them, and the straw varies as well. So certain times of the year you can put far more in for them than you can at other times of the year. So we'll bring that back in under there, and we're not going to want wheat or barley this time. Now we want the canola. We've also got some sunflowers in there, just 4,000 of those, and we got 8,000, sorry, of sugar beet. Not sugar beet, corn. We'll bring that in there. See, yeah, the pigs, obviously, the maize for the pigs is the biggest thing that they need. Second, 25, that's 50%. Then 25% is with the wheat or barley. 20% is with the protein one, which is this canola here. But you can have canola, sunflowers, or soybeans. So you got 3 crops that you can choose for that one, and it's only 5% that you need for the sugar beet and potatoes. So sugar beet and potatoes is the most difficult one to produce, and that only gets you 5% of the total feed value for the pigs. So most of the time, I genuinely don't think it's really worth the bother if you don't actually like doing root crops very much. And I gotta be honest, in this game, I don't mind doing root crops very, very occasionally, but I'm not a big fan of doing a root crop harvest on a regular basis. I did do a fairly regular root crop harvest in the Sandy Bay series, just because I hadn't done something like that before. And I did find that to be quite a tedious exercise. And yeah, so it's not something I want to do on a regular basis. So we've got now 7,800 there. Well, no, almost 8,000, I should say, there. We just need straw and water to go in for these, and then the pigs are going to be happy. We need a bit more corn. We can't actually put more corn in for them because we don't have the corn there. The only way that we can do that is if we get the mixed feed, the actual pig feed, the whole mixture in together, and that's going to be the next... Ooh, I didn't mean to turn those on. That's what we're going to do, but we're going to do that yet. We're going to be doing that in the bit later in the winter. As time sort of goes through, we'll just buy pig food straight from that pig feeder right there, and we'll put that in. Now, water. How much water are we going to need for all of our pigs? I'm hoping that we don't actually need very much, and it's going to be really, really easy to keep these fed. So put that in, and let's have a look. We're going to need to go and get another Bowser. Because I think we're going to... Yeah, 7,300 right there. So we're going to need to go and get one more lot of water. If we can back into the ditch just up here, and we can refill, excellent. We can do that from the cows. We know that. We've already tried that. And that works. I haven't tried backing into a ditch off the side here. So I don't know if this works. I don't know if we can fill from here. We can also, while we're backing in here, it's a bit steep there. While I'm backing down into there. Oh, it does fill. Okay, we can fill from there. I'm curious to see if the tractor over there is going to be able to perform its turning maneuver properly. I think it'd probably be alright, but, you know, it may struggle. And this is quite steep here. Thinking that we should have a little look around and see if there's a better point that we can get to some water than that bit right there, because that's a bit of a struggle there. Right. What's that tractor going to do? Is that road sign going to stop it? Hold it up? See, now what it's doing is it's looking for the edge of the field, and it looks like it's actually confusing itself. It can't find the edge of the field. It's not in front of it. It's not where it should be. And that's confusing it. So if I press H a minute, bring this back over here, and we'll just bring it up this way, and I'll put it there. Press H again, it'll do it. And it's because of it being on a corner. It struggles with, because of the sharp point on the edge of the field here. That's the bit that it's struggling with. If it wasn't quite such a pronounced point on it, it would probably have a much better time of it. But it's away, it's doing it, it's okay at the moment, so we can let that one go. You know, if I pressed the other way, I could just do that. That would be a lot easier. Right. Swing you back in round. We've got plenty of water now. We just want to dump this one. We'll drop this one just in front of the pigs like we have done with the others. And we go in here. The last thing that we're going to need to do is get something here that we can use for moving some bales of straw in round. And we've got a couple of tractors back at the farm. Now, you all know that I'm not a big fan of using front loaders. But as we've had to increase our loan, and, you know, we've had a few other problems as well, I'm thinking that it would actually be a good idea for us this time to do just that. So we're on 80% health at the moment. It's still saying that we don't have a reproduction rate. I thought that pigs in the autumn were supposed to breed. So this one here is going to do his turn there, and I'm hoping he'll carry on. Actually, you know what? I'm going to bring this one over here, and I'm going to start it running down this side of the field. I'm wondering if it might turn, like, find the turning a little bit easier here because of not having, like, the road and stuff in the way. Whether it's going to make any difference or not, I don't know. And you just turn that one to the opposite side. Press H, and away you go. Is this going to be able to do the job a little? Is it going to make it a bit easier for it? It might. So let that one go there. I've got a vehicle right here that we could use. Right? I could just have the JCB. We could take that one up. We've got pallet forks at the moment, and I've been over this before. We can use pallet forks. Or we've got out here, actually, yes, we do. We've still got the front loader. Okay, we've got the New Holland T5 right there. That was not equipped for front loader at the moment. We've got the T6 over here. This one is also not equipped for... Actually, is that? No, it's not. So what's that bit on the side there? What is that? Is that for a front loader or not? That looks like it is for a front loader, but it doesn't have the frame for a front loader. It looks like it's got that bit. And also it looks like that bit there is for like a side-mounted hedge trimmer as well. Not sure. But I know what I am going to do. I'm going to lower that weight down and leave the weight there a second. So this T6 is quite a small tractor. But it would be perfect for a loader tractor. We can pick up a couple bales at a time with this one. I'm going to bring this one in here. We should be able to fit this one out with a front loader attachment. If it doesn't have one, I can repair it in a minute. Yes. Customize front loader attachment. Yes. Wheels, we'll leave them as standards. We don't need wides. We'll do that. We did dance it around a little bit. And now we should have on there. There we go. Right up there, and this bit on the front. We've now got the framework in place for the front loader. So then we can come back out, and we'll get the front weight that was the front weight. It's now going to be the rear weight to counterbalance the loader. We get the loader hitched on, and we get that down to the pigs. There we go. We'll take this bad boy down to the pigs, and we will then be able to start putting some bales in for our pigs. So we'll bring that one into there like that. Get you hitched on, and then I got a bale spike right there. That's easily done. Right. Now, that seems to be the safest way to carry that one. Although, yeah, it is sticking out a bit. See, the tractor has now come racing back up across the field. I think that it was because it was having to turn out towards the edge of the field that it struggled a bit. And I think that by changing the direction, just changing the side of the field, that's why that one is now able to carry on and do its planting. But we'll worry about that in a minute. Okay, let me get round to the bale shed so that I can start grabbing a couple of those. And then we'll be able to get straw in for the pigs. That's the pigs then, completely 100% taken care of. Now, we've got to ask the person who works here in the shed to take out a couple. So I reckon we only want 2. We don't have any hay bales. We're going to want straw square, like that. So I just want to put 2 out. So you use that on this one here. It goes through the bales that you got in here. And like that. So those are 4,000 litres apiece. I don't think it takes any different types of bales than those. There is a shed that you can use with small bales. I don't think it takes like bigger capacity bales. But I don't know. I've never tried it. Square bales like that, and then okay. So that's going to put those 2 out there, which then I can go and pick up. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. My front loader skills are usually fairly limited. I'm much better with either the JCB or with telehandler just because of the increased maneuverability that they've got. So pick you up like that. Swing you back round like this. There. And so what you want to do in order to get these to line up is you put it on the ground in front of the bale like that. You just push it towards it ever so slightly, and that puts the 2 bales directly in line. Then you lift up. You pull back a little tiny bit so that you don't accidentally flip the bale that's at the back. And you just simply place the bale down. And then it doesn't release it properly and slides off. And that's also something that it does in real life as well. You do something, not every time, but you do sometimes get it where it will actually just grab the bale. The forks will hold on to the bale, and for whatever reason, it will not release the bale at all. And then you're trying to like pull the thing out. And it does do that in real life. So then we bring this one in around here, and there. So yeah, the whole idea that you can go up to the bale without nudging it first if you're like working in a field, okay, and you're picking up bales or in a yard or anything, and you want to pick them up, straight. I always would go in it doesn't matter the angle, just go into the bales and line them up by nudging the 2 together so that they line up, and then back away just a couple of inches, lift the thing up, put it and drive forward, put it down on top, and then you've got the 2 directly one on top of the other. The whole idea that you could just drive straight up the bale, plonk it down on top without having to line them up first like that, you might get lucky, you might be able to do it, but no, if you want a proper, nice, easy, level load, you're not going to be able to do it like that. It's going to take a level of driving skill that simply doesn't exist. I've seen some of the best people, I've seen people who I would consider some of the best loader drivers in the world. They're absolutely fantastic. Stacking straw is, I've worked with a lot of people in the straw world. Straw, really? Wow, okay, we're going to need a lot more. We're going to need several more bales, so we'll go and get a couple more in a minute. I've worked with a lot of people in straw, and I've never seen anybody that's able to do that every time. You might get it 1 time out of 4. All right, you might get it 1 time out of 4. But if you want your bales to be properly lined up, one on top of the other, every single time, you nudge them together. I only say this because I seen a comment recently on a forum where somebody was saying, well, that's not how you do it. You wouldn't be dragging the bales along the ground and doing that because you could cut the strings. Points to them for actually knowing that you could cut the strings if you push the bales along the ground too much, depending on what's on the ground. If you're working in a field that's quite a stony field, a lot of flint and stuff on the ground, like in some of the areas that I used to work in, then yes, if you push the bales along the field for any particular length, any particular distance, then yes, you would end up cutting the strings. The flints would cut through the strings and boom, the bale would pop open. For a short distance, no. Just to nudge them together to line up, no. It ain't going to happen. All right? I can tell you this mainly because I have moved tens, if not hundreds, of thousands of bales, stacked them up and moved them. I've spent thousands of hours stacking bales, and if you're just nudging them together like that, no, you're not going to pop strings doing that. It's not going to happen. If you're popping strings on a regular basis, you're doing something wrong. And if you want your loads, if you want your bales to be stacked neatly and tidily, you do push them together. This whole... I mean, I think that it was just one person who sort of got the wrong end of the stick and decided that, well, you can't do it like that. And judging by the number of people that commented on it, I don't know if anybody's seen it. I do not remember what forum. Even if I did remember, I wouldn't say, because it might end up with an increased argument being held again, and yeah, we don't need to carry on any fights. I just thought it struck me as slightly amusing that somebody would think that it was completely unrealistic to nudge the bales together, and then I thought, well, that's actually a fair assumption if you've never had anything to do with it. If you've never seen it in real life, then yeah, you could make the assumption that, you know, you've heard that bales sliding on the ground could pop the strings, and so you would think that that could pop the strings. So it is an assumption that could easily be made. And I did sort of chuckle about this to start with, because the number of bales that I have pushed along the ground in order to line up, and I thought, well, I would really struggle if I hadn't been pushing bales along the ground a little bit to line them up. And it's amazing the difference that experience gives to word of mouth and, you know, just sort of watching a few other bits and pieces. And I really like that about this community. And, you know, the person was eventually sort of put right, and there were a few sort of... you're always going to get... it's a forum. And on forums, the same as comment sections on videos, you're always going to get some people who... seem to be just setting out to try to upset as many people as possible. I don't really think that's necessary. No, I'm not trying to quit. Why am I even clicking on that? I don't know what's wrong with me at the moment. Yeah, it's odd sometimes. I do tend to try to avoid comment sections for most things, because there's always going to be one or two people trolling on them, and yeah, it's generally you can get some rather unpleasant people there. But the Farming Simulator community, yes, there are those people who get a little bit overexcited, but generally there does seem to be a lot about trying to educate people. And that's what I really like. It does seem to be an awful lot about trying to educate people. And one of the great things about this game is that there are so many people in the world who don't have anything to do with agriculture, who have learned more about how farming is done and farming practices through playing the game, through watching videos from the likes of me and other YouTubers, than they'd ever otherwise be able to learn. And I think that is absolutely amazing. I really do. Because the more that people can actually learn about farming and where all your food and stuff comes from, the better, as far as I'm concerned. I think it's a absolutely brilliant and wonderful thing. Anyway, I have rabbited on for long enough. We need to go. My monthly question is, where do you want us to go for the final 4-week stint on FS17? Do you want it to be staying right here on Dutch Polder for a little bit longer? Do you want us to move to Shamrock Valley in Ireland, Lone Oak Farm in the US, Dowland Farm in the UK, or the Tyrolean Alps in Austria? It is your vote, it's your game. Head into the comment section down below, let us know which one you want and why, and of course don't forget to actually cast your vote in the top right hand corner. And if you've enjoyed this episode, then please head down below and give us a like, and if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me, get them to come and watch as well, that would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar, goodbye, and see you later.